And the other haya is nurtured. This characteristics need to be nurtured. The Islamic haya is acquired with the intention of seeking the pleasure of Allah. One needs to be conscious of the blessings that Allah has bestowed and hence use them in ways that are pleasing to Allah. One should know that Allah is aware of everything that one does, and one should associate with the people of haya. The taqwa, it brings you haya because you are aware that Allah is watching you all the time, even when you are alone. So this taqwa brings haya, and you should nurture it. Keep it. Teach your family to have haya, boys and girls both. What to say, what this is called, manners in Islam. We are not allowed to say in any which way, speak to in any which way to our elders. There are certain adab, there are certain manners how we speak in Islam. There are certain manners what we wear in Islam. One is the hijab. That is when for a hijab for man and hijab for women. That stands out of haya. So the more hair you have, the more cover you want to cover yourself, even your face. Islamically, a woman should cover the face. Why? Because Allah has asked us to, right? To ask us to cover our aura. The Prophet hadith proves that we should cover our aura, our hair, and our bodies in front of non-Muslim men. In front of non-mahram men. So non-mahram men, if they are in the house, what do we teach our girls? From the very beginning, we ask them to cover their hair, we ask them to cover their bodies, the shape of their bodies, and face, if they are able to. There is a difference of opinion about the face. I'm not going to go into that. But there is no difference of opinion about covering the hair. There is no difference of opinion about covering the body and covering the shape of the body, covering the skin of the body. So this sin, if it becomes very, very common, the general haya in the ummah comes down. And this is also associated with boys. The boys are not supposed to see non-mahram women. Even if they are uncovered, they should lower their eyes. The boys should be taught to wear certain kinds of clothes, which covers their aura. And we will see how the Sahaba were inculcating these habits within themselves, how natural it was to them, the haya. Haya from Allah stops one from doing sins secretly, and haya from people stops one from doing sins openly. Both are haya, praiseworthy haya, but preference should be given to haya with respect to Allah over haya with respect to people. Haya is to protect the head and what it contains, meaning your thoughts, your aqidah, your understanding of the worldly matters as well, other than for your correct understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah. There are so many ideologies which are bringing down haya. The ideology, the worst of it, I would say, is about so many aspects of women liberation, so many aspects of the movement of equality amongst women. Allah is just. Allah is just. It necessary doesn't mean it has justice. Doesn't mean always equality. Equality means to treat everyone with the same yardstick. But Allah knows the nature of a man and nature of the woman. So Allah has given them certain duties with respect to that. So we should understand that, correct understanding of that. To protect the insides and what it includes, yani stay away from haram. To remember death and the trial after the death. That also nurtures haya. Not to attach oneself to the adornments of the world and to the desire of the hereafter. Read the stories of the Sahabiyat, what was their understanding of haya. I was reading one of the Sirah of Aisha, and in one of the books I read that she said that her funeral should be done in the night, so that nobody would see her bier to be when it is taken to the graveyard. That was the level of the haya of the people in the time of the Prophet, of the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat. And one of the virtues of the women of Jannah, the whole line, is they are like hidden pearls. Hidden pearls. So if this is the virtue of the women of Jannah, so if we want to become a woman of Jannah, we have to acquire those. There are many qualities of Hur Ain. One of it is hidden pearls, covered from the gaze of unknown people. فَإِنَّ الْحَيَاءَ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, one of the when Ibn Umar he reports that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by a man who was admonishing his brother regarding haya, and was saying, "You are very shy, and I'm afraid that might harm you." On that, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Let him be, for modesty is part of faith." And this is one of the things that people say about other their children, about discussing when they are discussing about youth, and they say, "Oh, they are too shy." They are when they talk about haya, they talk about very in a negative manner, and they think that this will stop them from achieving certain things and certain aspects in the world. Okay, we may not be able to achieve everything in this world. Okay, so what if women is not able to swim in the open beach in this world? What does it, how will my life be affected by it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me at all. It doesn't matter to any Muslim woman at all. Because our goal is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We may not do certain outdoor activities because there are people around, so be it. Why? Because we are just making very small sacrifices for the sake of Allah. It is very less as compared to the sacrifices which the Sahabiyah did in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the sake of Allah. So if we sacrifice a few things in this world for the sake of haya, for the sake of our iman, so what? Yes, Hazrat Fatima. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, faith has 60 to 70 branches, the best of which is to declare there is no God but Allah, the least of which is to remove something harmful from the road, and modesty is a branch of faith. So faith has branches. What does this mean? Who will tell me what does this mean that Iman has branches and Haya is one of it? Okay. Any idea what does this actually translate into? Who can tell me that? Okay. This means that Iman is actions. Iman is just not a belief in the heart. After the belief, what constitutes Iman is action. And it has all the aspects of Islam are part of Iman. 50, 60 or 70 means many actions are part of Iman. One, the smallest of it is to remove something harmful from the road. And this is an action. So our Iman on the day of judgment will be judged by our actions. What did we do? One is a person goes on the road and he sees something falling and said, "Oh no, something bad is falling." So he doesn't do anything about it. The other person actually goes, lifts up the thing and put it outside the road. And that is Iman. That is the action which will be written, and that is how his or her mizan will become heavy by good deeds. And that is a part of Iman. So don't think that Iman is, I am at a very high level of Iman while I don't do many things which I am supposed to do. I don't do my duties and I also don't do a lot of other things. No, Iman will be judged according to the action, and modesty, Haya, is one of those, and it is a branch of Iman. And another hadith is لِكُلِّ دِينٍ خُلُقٍ وَخُلُقُ الْإِسْلَامِ الْحَيَاءُ. Every deen has an innate character. The character of Islam is modesty. And what does that mean? That means that the people of Islam are distinguished by haya, by modesty. And it is the best of all good manners. All good manners stem out from this characteristic. So the more good manners you see in a person, it means the more haya it has, it means the more iman that person has. So the branch of knowledge that a person should learn first is good manners. Make it a point to learn what are good manners in Islam. What did the Prophet ﷺ teach us regarding good manners? And this is proportional to your haya. Another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, "Ma min shay'in asqalu fil mizani min husn al-khuluq." There is nothing that weighs more heavily in the balance than a good attitude. So haya stems, the good manners stems out from haya, and these good manners will make the mizan heavy. And then again related to that hadith, that iman has 70 odd branches, so many branches. So iman, action, good attitude, heaviness in the mizan. So write it down, action, do good. Just make this dua that may Allah remove all kasal, laziness from our self. Because laziness is the tool of shaitan. It keeps us away from good actions. Al-haya la ya'ati illa bi khair. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, modesty does not bring anything but goodness. So, al-haya khairun kulluhu. Modesty is all that is good. Another hadith. So all of haya is good. Everything about haya is good. So haya is the most precious aspect of a Muslim personality. Has to be nurtured, has to be protected with tooth and nail. And see how the attack of shaitan and how the attack of the environment is upon us, that we have losing this characteristic. In turn, people are losing iman. May Allah protect me, my family, you, and all of us from this. How are people, talking about these days about so many relationships, so many sexualities, and they are confused and they think, oh, what is right and what is wrong? This confusion is created. Why? Because of lack of knowledge. So strengthen the knowledge of iman. Al-haya min al-iman wal-imanu fil jannah wal-bada'u min al-jifai wal-jifa'u fil nar. Haya is a part of iman. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, haya is a part of iman, and iman is paradise. Vulgarity or lewdness is part of harshness of the heart, and harshness of the heart is in the fire. So the more bad things we see, the more bad things we hear, the more bad company people keep, it hardens the heart. So keep the company of people of iman, keep the company. And how do you judge them? By their modesty, by their haya. When you make friends, you have a choice. So choose good friends. Haya is a part of iman, and iman is paradise. May Allah make our children learn this aspect of iman, and our next generation becomes the best of generation. Inna Allah yuhibbul haya was-satr. The Prophet ﷺ said, indeed Allah loves haya and concealment. Subhanallah. Concealing yourself is one of the aspects which Allah loves. So if Allah loves you, Allah will never leave you. Allah will guide you. Allah will protect you from sins. Allah will protect you from harmful actions. People say, oh, I am in so many problems. I have economic problems. I have relationships problems. I have so many problems. I'm being tested. If Allah loves you, why is this happening? People will ask, right? Sometimes people just question you. If Allah loves you, the first thing that you should check is, if Allah loves you, Allah will protect you from sin. This is the checkpoint. If Allah is protecting you from sins, if Allah is giving you tawfiq to do more good actions, if Allah is giving you tawfiq to do more salah, to more pray tahajjud, to serve your family, to fulfill your duties more, to give you sakina more, this is the sign of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Outwardly, if situations are coming and going, it doesn't matter. That does not reflect that Allah loves you just because somebody is rich or somebody has a life of ease with respect to friends and things like that. The Prophet ﷺ said that the lewdness does not appear in anything except that it blemishes it. And haya does not appear in anything except that it beautifies it. ما كان الفحش في شيء إلا شأنه وما كان الحياء في شيء إلا زانه. So the beauty of a person is haya. So foul language, a certain kind of ways, manners, which are against the aspect of Islamic haya, we should avoid them. Even though they are very, very common, the peer pressure allows some children to lose haya, because if they are modest, they are made fun of. The shy people are considered to be, they are given certain kind of names. Shy students are given certain kind of names. We have to inculcate confidence in our children by telling them that if Allah loves you, don't care about people. These people will come in your life and go away. They are just your partners because you are in school. They are just with you because you're studying with them, or your colleagues. They will come and they will go. But what you should nurture is your haya, your modesty. It should never go. It should never leave you. What is the importance of haya? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you don't feel ashamed, do whatever you like. إذا لم تستحي فاصنع ما شئت. If you don't feel ashamed, do whatever you like. The Prophet ﷺ said, one of the sayings of the early prophets, which the people have got, is this. So this is the teaching of all the prophets in all the communities. Haya was taught by the prophets. And what made people leave haya was the going away from the teachings of the prophet. So, which means it's a kind of a threat. Then do whatever you like then. Allah will leave you in this world. Allah will leave you, loosen your robe. Do whatever you like. In your tughyan, you go and you go and you go. When will Allah catch you then? The death will catch everybody. The going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will catch everybody. So that if you loosen your, Allah is losing your robe and allowing you to do whatever you wish, check yourself. You cannot do everything we wish. That's the point of a Muslim to think, should I be able to do everything I wish? This is what the people desire these days. This is what young people desire these days. And that is the reason why they are always depressed. Because they think, I'm not able to do what I wish. Are we allowed to do whatever we wish? What does the Prophet ﷺ say? If you do whatever you wish, it will not lead you to Jannah sometimes. Because your wishes are because of your desire, sometimes your own soul desire wrong things. The soul which desires wrong thing, if you allow to let it loose and if you allow to follow your desire, your soul, it will lead to destruction. Fahsha, it will lead to fahsha.